The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel isn't another boring finance book filled with charts and numbers. It's the book that reveals why smart people make terrible financial decisions. If you ever wondered why you are terrible with money despite being intelligent, or why some people with average incomes build massive wealth, why high earners stay broke, this book exposes the hidden psychological traps that sabotage your financial success and shows you how to escape them. Morgan is a behavioral finance expert and renowned financial writer who spent years analyzing why people make irrational money decisions. His book became a bestseller because it finally explained what traditional finance education never taught us, that money success isn't about math, it's about the psychology. Today, I will break down the 7 life changing insights that can transform your relationship with money forever. Starting with why your brain is wired to make you poor and ending with a simple mindset shift that creates lasting wealth. Point number 1, your money behavior isn't crazy, it's personal. The first insight will completely change how you judge your own financial decisions, because what seems irrational might be perfectly logical. Your money habits aren't random, they are shaped by your unique life experiences. Someone who grew up poor sees risk completely differently than someone from a wealthy family. People who lived through the 2008 crash avoid stocks, while those who saw the market boom in the 90s embrace risk. Your financial decisions make perfect sense based on what you have experienced. Even if they look crazy to others, this is why generic financial advice doesn't work. Everyone's money psychology is completely different. Financial success isn't about intelligence or technical knowledge. It's about understanding your own behavioral patterns and working with them, not against them. Your background creates your money mindset. Write down your earliest money memories and your biggest financial fear. Ask yourself, how do these experiences influence my spending and my saving decisions today? This awareness is the first step to making better financial choices that align with your goals, not your fears. Let's come to point number 2. Saving beats earning every time. Here's something that will shock you about wealth building. It's not about how much you make, and most high earners get this completely wrong. You can earn 200,000 and stay broke, or you can earn 50,000 and become wealthy. The difference isn't the income, it's the savings rate. High earners often fall into the lifestyle inflation trap, spending every raise and bonus. Meanwhile, people with modest incomes who save consistently build real wealth through the power of compound growth. Wealth isn't about impressing others with expensive purchases, it's about accumulating assets that work for you. Building wealth is about saving a substantial portion of your income, not maximizing your income. The person who saves 20% of 60,000 will likely outweigh someone who saves 5% of 120,000. Calculate your current savings rate. Savings divided by after tax income. If it's under 15%, identify 3 expenses you can cut from this month and automatically transfer that money to savings. Focus on increasing your savings rate by 1% every quarter instead of chasing the next promotion. Let's come to point number 3. Compound interest is magic, but only if you don't touch it. The third principle contains the most powerful wealth building force in the universe. But 99% of people destroy it with one simple mistake. Compound interest isn't just growth, it's exponential growth. Warren Buffett made 99% of his wealth after his age of 65, not because he got better at investing, but because he had more time for compounding to work. Most people understand compounding intellectually, but sabotage it practically by constantly moving money around, trying to time markets, or spending their investment gains. Time is more valuable than returns. The secret to wealth isn't finding the perfect investment, it's finding the decent investment and leaving it alone for decades. Consistency and patience beat perfection and timing. Set up automatic investing into a simple index fund and commit to not touching it for 10 years minimum. Calculate what 100 monthly becomes in 30 years at 7% returns. Spoiler, it's over 121,000. Start this week, even if it's with 25. Point number 4, luck and risk control more than you think. What I'm about to tell you about success and failure will make you completely rethink everything you believe about financial achievements. Bill Gates became the world's richest person partly because he attended one school in America with a computer terminal in 1968. That's pure luck. But his classmate, Paul Allen, equally talented, died young from cancer. That's pure risk. Success stories focus on skill and hard work while ignoring the massive role of luck. Failure stories blame poor decisions while ignoring bad luck. Both perspectives are incomplete and dangerous for decision making. Acknowledging luck and risk makes you more humble in success and more resilient in failures. It also prevents you from taking unnecessary risks or being overly conservative. When making financial decisions, ask what could go wrong that's outside my control. Build buffers for bad luck and avoid risking what you need for what you don't need. Never bet your survival on outcomes you can't control. Let's get to point number 5. Getting rich versus staying rich are different games. Here's the brutal truth about wealth that destroys most people who achieve it. The skills that make you rich will make you poor. Getting wealthy often requires taking risks, being optimistic, and working obsessively. Staying wealthy requires the opposite: humility, paranoia, and frugality. Many lottery winners, athletes, and entrepreneurs who build fortunes lose everything because they keep playing the getting rich game even after they have won. They don't know when to stop taking risks and start preserving wealth. Wealth preservation requires different behaviors than wealth accumulation. Once you have enough, the goal shifts from growth to protection. Define your enough number right now, the amount where you would feel financially secure. Once you reach it, shift from aggressive growth strategies to wealth preservations. Risk less, save more, and protect what you have built. Point number 6, define enough or it will never come. The sixth insight reveals the psychological trap that keeps millionaires miserable and destroys more wealth than market crashes. Bernie Madoff had 823 millions, but he risked it all in a Ponzi scheme. Rajat Gupta earned 130 millions legitimately, but threw it away for an insider trading. Both had more money than they could spend in multiple lifetimes. But it wasn't enough. The goalpost kept moving. Without defining enough, you will risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. Enough isn't about stopping financial growth, it's about not risking your security, reputation, and happiness for marginal gains. True wealth includes knowing when you have enough. Write down your enough number for different life areas: annual income, net worth, lifestyle spending, and other things. Once you hit these numbers, resist the urge to keep moving the goalpost. Protect what you have instead of endlessly chasing more. Point number 7, the ultimate goal is freedom, not stuff. Everything we have discussed leads to this final revelation: the real purpose of money that most people completely miss. The highest dividend money can pay is control over your time. Expensive cars, houses, and gadgets don't create lasting happiness. But The ability to wake up and say, I can do whatever I want today, is priceless. Financial independence isn't about retiring early, it's about having options. It's about making decisions based on what you want to do, not what you have to do to pay bills. True wealth is measured by how long you could survive without working, not by what you own. Freedom and flexibility are the ultimate luxuries. Calculate your financial runway. How many months could you live on your current savings? Aim to extend this to 12 months, then 24, then eventually where work becomes optional. Every dollar saved is a vote for future freedom. But here's to something that will shock you about why most people fail with money, even when they know all the right strategies. The psychology of money reveals how to think about wealth. But what if your mind is so trapped in the past regrets and future fears that you can't even implement these insights? Every financial decision starts with your state of mind, and if you're living in a mental chaos, no money strategy will work. That's why you need to watch my breakdown of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle next. Click on that video to learn how to quiet the mental noise that sabotages your financial success and discover the present moment awareness that creates lasting wealth and peace.